Brian, you still with me, man?
I am, Scott. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, Rock Titan TV fans, we are here live with Brian B. Frank, lead vocalist of Killer B. Brian, thank you so much for being here, man.
More than my pleasure, dude. I'm glad to see what you're doing here.
Yeah, man. So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I gotta ask you. So, what did Santa bring you this year? Did he bring anything good?
I got a suitcase for my traveling, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So, like,
so I can pack my stuff up and get on the road next year.
yeah, well, hopefully we'll see you over here in the States again because I know the last time you guys were over here was back in 2015, and I'm guessing that you were playing some of your material from from Hell and Back. Would that be accurate? That you guys were pretty much
Yeah,
touring with
yeah,
that?
we were doing From Hell and Back and Evolutionary Children.
Okay,
Those were the
all
two
right,
albums at the time. We had just actually released an album called Rock Another Day, which was sort of a compilation of all the records that had been released in Europe, and that was, at that time, Hell and Back and Evolutionary Children. So we released an American-only edition of a few songs that was a compilation of that called Rock Another Day. And so we went out and toured the songs off of that album. Trying to
nice.
give the Americans a little taste of what we were doing, what we were all about.
Okay, all right, cool. Now you guys are out there mostly in Sweden. Now I know you guys are kind of scattered about a little bit. You're originally from Canada, you were saying earlier, but is Sweden kind of your home base?
Well, Sweden is the home base, absolutely. My
Right.
partner Anders and I, we've been together since, officially since 1990, but really we've known each other since 85. So, I mean, we've been together for 31 years, really. And so Sweden is our base, but we do have musicians spread around the globe. We
Right.
have our keyboard player, Denny DeMarchi from Alias, from the Cranberries. He lives in Toronto.
Oh wow.
We just took on Sean Duncan from Los Angeles. He was before with the Bullet Boys and other bands, and he just joined into our ranks now.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
plus,
Yeah. Yeah.
plus
Very cool.
we have
So
people from Florida that are gone now. So we've been basically spread out for our whole career, really.
okay. All right. All right. So you guys came out pretty hot and heavy in the '90s, and guys got a lot of attention, much deserved. And then you
Yeah,
decided to take a little bit of a break. Can
that's
you kind
true.
of tell me what led to that break? Was it just adrenal burnout? What?
Well, burnout's probably a pretty good word for it, even though we don't want to admit it. I think it's basically got to do with the fact that in this business, there's a lot of good people and there's a lot of bad people. Anybody in the business knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
And the bottom line is that we just happened to be unlucky and get involved with a guy from Switzerland who was not one of the good people. Turned
Uh,
out that it ended up costing Anders and I a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of frustration. And
wow.
come 98, we decided that, this is just a brain burn for us. So we decided that we would take a little break.
Yeah. So you take that little break, and then you guys come back. From hell and back, man. So talk to me about that. I mean, were your batteries fully recharged at that point? Did you just miss it so much that you had to get back out there? You had all kinds of new material. What kind of led to you guys really deciding to come back after a good 10-year hiatus?
Well, it sounds like a multiple choice question, so I'll say all of the above.
All right, yeah, no, that's why
Basically,
that's there. That's why that multiple choice is always there.
yeah, no, we were doing we were basically living our lives, and Anders came up to me one day and he said, I don't think we got really a good fair shake in the 90s. We took a break too early maybe, and with all the frustration that was involved, we decided that let's put out a compilation of the stuff we did in the 90s, throw it out there and see
Nice.
what happens. So we did that. We put out a record that was called Almost There, as you see
Okay.
here. And that record, we just put it out for our fans, see what would happen, and it turned out there was a great response. So what happened after that was that we put our ranks together, and Andrew's always writing music as he does. We put together an album called From Hell and Back Again, and that was that. You know,
Nice, nice. Now, fast forwarding to 2016, you've got Eye in the Sky.
yeah.
Yeah. So how's that been? That came out back in October. Is that correct? You guys launched that baby back in October.
Yeah, middle of October it came out, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what's the reception of that been?
It's been really good. I mean, we've been finding that, our style is very 70s. I don't know if you got that, but it's very 70s, and the production is very 70s, and our style of writing is 70s, 80s. Anders has more influence in the 80s. I have more influence in the 70s. And,
Okay, all right. Yeah, no, you know what? I like that. I like that comparison because I would say to me, you know, and I looked over a lot of your music videos, which I want to touch on because you guys have been great about that, and that's what Rock Titan TV is really all about, bringing back the music video and, you know, making the rock star the video star again. And I would say that you guys really had a lot more of that good old school hardcore rock and roll from the 80s. I mean, that's what I took out of it. Maybe late 70s, but definitely real strong 80s style, which I love. I mean, that's my wheelhouse.
Yeah, well, and mine as well, but I'm more of a 70s guy. You know, I kind of grew up with the Deep Purples, Uriah Heep, Led Zeppelins, and that kind of thing. And so when it comes to the music and the riffs and the style, the riff rock that Anders writes when it comes to writing the music, he plays the bass, but he writes a lot of his music on the guitar and the pianos. Okay. We're like into power ballads and stuff as well. But his style of writing is really from that 80s era.
Yeah.
And then we put in, like, my style of writing is the front man, you know, lead singer kind of thing. So you get that together. You don't get this overflow of technicalities and backing vocals and heavy harmonies and stuff. You're just basically kind of playing the music that you want to play. And then when it comes to production, I really love that old raw sound of that whatever happens, thanks, man, that was great, we go on to the next track type of attitude.
Right.
And so what happened was, when we were getting back to the question about the onslaught of Eye in the Sky and the reaction, is that we found that a lot of the people that have been listening to it now have gone back, listened to our other stuff, and they're saying, hey, we get it now, okay?
Right.
Our style isn't really so polished. It isn't that 2016 hard rock, heavy metal, whatever you want, where everything's got to be perfect, and everybody makes sure they do their tracks 100 times, whatever. We'll take the best one we can cut and paste because of the digital era and blah 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 blah. We try to treat our recording sessions like they're on tape, you know.
You know what? I love that. I love that you said that, Brian, because a good friend of mine out here in Philadelphia, and he's actually a phenomenal producer in his own right. He told me, you know, at one point in time, if you've got to really go through the mastering process that arduously, then the final product probably isn't that great to begin with, you know? Like, you shouldn't have to put that much into it.
Exactly, a great point. And that's a really good point, actually. We have a mastering guy in Toronto. He does all our mixing with me. Over in Toronto, we take all our mixing over to Red Rose Studios, Rose Room Studios in Toronto, and Jim Zolas has been doing our mixing for the last 3 albums.
Okay.
And we really try to, when it comes to the mixing, we really try to make this, it's what it is, you know. The only mastering we want to do is maybe bump a little bit here and bump a little bit there, but it's not so far off from the original mixing.
Right.
And that's like you say, if we got to master the shit out of it, then it probably isn't worth mastering.
Yeah. Well, those words of wisdom came from my man, Professor Pooch, Dave Spangenberg, out here in Philadelphia. And I don't know if you've ever heard of him, because I know he kind of does have an international reputation as well.
But Pooch, I got to meet you, man.
Pooch, yeah, Pooch is the man. So I'll give Pooch a little shout out. But
right on.
I want to touch on your music videos, man, because, you know, obviously that's near and dear to our heart. You've got Shout It Out, which I love, which we've been playing in the course of this interview. Talk to me about that, man. I mean, what is it for you personally, and I guess for Killer B in general, where you have had such a strong emphasis on, you know, on the official music videos?
We've always really focused on videos. I mean, if you go back into our video library, we have like 15 videos.
Yeah, you do.
Live stuff. And so even back in the 90s when it was, you know, we were dealing with a lot of terrestrial radio, you could get yourself out there in hard copy magazines and stuff. We still wanted people to see us. If we couldn't go out on the road, we wanted people to see us,
sure,
know that we were a band.
Right.
We're not a production product that, you know, we'll get Jay and Joe and Jimmy to come in and do a lot of J's there. Come in and do some recording for us. We wanted people to understand that there is actually a band behind the music.
Right.
When they see the band live, hopefully we relate back to what we've been doing. So the video side has been very important. But now as we come up into 2014, 15, 16, and we come back into the business again, there's so much emphasis on the digital world.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
The social network, the social media world, or whatever it's called. You know, it's so much emphasis on that
right,
you basically have to keep flooding the market. And again, it comes back to just saying that, hey, we are a band. You know,
yeah,
we're not just production.
Yeah, no, definitely. One thing I wanted to ask you because I was curious about it, looking at a couple of your album covers, the clown seems fairly prominent there, man. What's with all the clowns?
Well, the clown is a clown, but it's there's a there's an emphasis on the clown mask, and it's basically, in all of our years, and it probably goes back to everything that we've been through personally. And Anders, this is a lot to do with his own world.
Right.
He came up with the clown idea and wanted to emphasis on that for these 3 albums and see how far it goes. Well, basically the mask is basically a what do you call it? It's what people are. Who's behind the mask?
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, cool.
In our world today, there's so many faces, and everybody carries so many faces, and it's like, but who is really behind that? I mean, we don't know, right? So it's like that's the emphasis on the mask, is to say we all live behind the mask. Maybe we should come out from behind it.
Yeah. No, I dig it. I totally love that. Now, I guess another thing that I really need to ask you, you guys came out hot and heavy in the 90s. And you had like 3 albums, I think 3 official studio albums. Would that be accurate to say? And then you take that break, and then you come back in 2012, guns blazing. And it almost looks like you've got as much music that you've put out, over the last few years than you had, back when you guys first came out. So talk to me about that. Do you feel different as an artist? Do you feel that you've evolved with, the later material that you've had over the last few years versus when you guys first came out?
Well, of course, there's evolution. And when we were first writing our songs in the early '90s, Anders and I were just getting together, and we had like this spontaneity that was very true. We basically would write songs while I was ironing shirts, for example, or drinking a coffee. He would write a riff.
Right.
We had a song written. We wrote all our albums in probably 15, 20 minutes a song.
Oh, wow.
It's not so different today, but Anders is a writing machine. He's always writing. He's writing in his car. He's writing in his sleep. He wakes up in the morning. There's a new song. And we'll get together. And
Nice.
This is really the way it is, and it's cool because he'll come up with a lot of riffs and a lot of finished ideas and semi-finished ideas, and we always get together and collaborate on where we want to go with it, throw in the vocals, and then if there's a concept that he particularly likes lyrically, I'll try to touch on that. Mostly I try to write lyrics from what I feel, so I can be true to what I'm saying. But if there's something that he feels, then we try to put that in as well. But the point is that we have tons of music, like a lot of artists. There's libraries and libraries and libraries of music that's never been released. There's music that's never been recorded. There's songs on little cassette tapes we've been finding, and I mean, we just keep ourselves. It's something that you have to do. You can't deny the reality that these things are in your head and they're going around. So let's put them out. Hopefully, people like it.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, so let me ask you then, Brian. For you, what makes the cut? How do you decide, with that cache of material that you have? How collaborative is it? Is there any one of you that maybe can, trump the other saying, you know what? No, this has got to be in. I got to do this,
Well, of course, if there's a real thing that's driving it, all the writing's done by Anders and I in the band from the beginning. It's always been that way.
Gotcha.
Mostly because we have had a long line of musicians come and go, and it's like, somebody comes in the band and they're with you for a year. How can you expect them to really understand what we've been doing for 25?
Sure.
So we try to keep our line pretty down the road of what it is we're doing. A lot of times it comes down to this, that we really agree with each other in most cases.
Nice. Well, you guys have been together so long. I mean, that says a lot. Just the fact that you guys, took a break, and then you came back, and you're just as strong as ever. I mean, that says a lot, I think, about the continuity and the passion that you guys have as a family, really.
It's been a long marriage, man.
Yeah. So, you guys are over there in Sweden. Now, I know you did one brief tour in the States, but what is it, that you guys love about it over there so much? Is it the Swedish bikini team? What is it, man?
Well, they're not so bad. We wouldn't scoff at them. Most women look good in a bikini.
Well, it's got to make you put up with the cold out there. You were telling me a little earlier, you're not all that far from the Arctic Circle.
No, it keeps you warm at night, just giving you something to think about, but they look just as good in a fur coat, probably.
Yeah, right. Nice. All right, so with everything that you guys are doing now, you did a tour out here back in 2015. do you guys feel that you may be, coming back here in 2017?
Yes, we are on our way back actually in January. We'll be in Los Angeles for about a week or so, do a couple of shows.
Oh, sweet.
We got the Whiskey a Go-Go, and we're playing Ramona. Just a couple of shows happening over there. A little bit of a, hey, we're still around type of shout out.
Okay.
And then we're going off to the UK for a couple of weeks, and we got some stuff over here in Europe. But our management and our promoters and agents and stuff, they're looking at putting us out there in 2017.
All right.
Can't really say what's happening right now, but it's a lot in the works.
Okay, I was gonna ask you if maybe you could give me a little tidbit or something like that. Let me know what we can expect in the year to come. But I do want to give a shout out to Chipster as well, because I know he helped coordinate this interview. So Chip, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I want to say thanks to Chip too. He's been really good. I mean, he's been our own little chip of gold. He's done
Chip
a lot
of gold. I
work
love
for the
it. Yeah.
He's been doing a lot of work for the band, and we're really happy to have him on board.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Brian, I want to be sensitive to your time because I know you're making the rounds, in the media and stuff like that with everything that you've had going on. But again, I just want to thank you for your time. Congratulations on all the success that you've been having. And Happy New Year, man.
Thanks a lot, Scott. And let's not forget, Ginger Boy, that sorry, I had to throw that in there. You were saying that earlier.
Yeah.
You were saying yourself that you're third generation Swedish.
I am, man. I am. And I have never been over there. So, as guilty as you guys are for not spending enough time over here in the States, I've never even been back to the mother country. So I am a hypocrite. Guilty on all counts.
Hypocrite, I don't know, but you got to get on a plane one day and say SAS. Fly.
Dude, I definitely do. But if I come out there, I got to be able to see you guys live.
Well, just let us know when you're coming, and we'll let you know what our schedule is. As simple as that.
Well, maybe I should check out your schedule, and then I'll make my travel plans accordingly.
Well, you see, that works as well.
All right. Well, Brian B. Frank from Killer B, thank you so much again for your time. I appreciate it, man. And, dude, all the best.
All right, Scott. Listen, man. Rock on. Peace, love.
You got it, man.
All right.
Later.